Alright folks, we are back with more Chrono Trigger. So that's my microphone. There's some sort of error that came up, so now it records things while game audio is recording. But we are going to explore a bit, and if this is the first time you go here, well, you're going to want to explore this forest mainly for a power tab, which will up your strength by 1, and later you'll be able to get magic tabs and all sorts of them. I do not know where every one of these are. I mean, if you want to find that out, you're going to need game facts or a player's guide, something like that, in order to actually find these. But I will definitely do my exploring, and if that shows me where they are, then we'll get it. But so one thing about this is this is a role-playing game, and you need to be aware that the more that you pay attention, the more observational you are, the more you're going to get out of this game, and it's going to become a lot easier rather than just going from point A to point B. And, plus the game is interesting, so there's always the dialogue. I have messed with this game for almost 15 years, and I still don't know every bit of dialogue that there is to know. I mean, obviously once you get the whole storyline, it becomes less interesting, but the characters do provide some, dialect for you. So that's the thing. There's lots of script in this game. It's worthy to be a role-playing game because of it. For the most part, it stands out just because of the script. That's definitely the thing. But Chrono is getting ready to entail his adventure, but before we do that, we're gonna have to check in and see what the problem is. Because if you paid attention to the people, they're kind of in a frantic state, a little dismay. So the only thing left between us and the castle is this forest. But I'm trying to think of what would be of note as far as like a good detail to bring up here. Because for the most part, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just go right in, and once again, it is a castle, so you're gonna want to look around. But that is exactly what I'm gonna wind up doing. Is we're gonna take a look inside this castle and see some of the stuff. But another game that I'm kind of doing right now blind is Earthbound. I would like to do that as a let's play like right now, but the problem with it is I don't know how to hook my Dazzle up to the Wii U. So, but this is loads better than getting it for the Super Nintendo, because that is gonna cost you 250 bones for that. Even today, I mean, that's the thing. I really do not know where Earthbound received the sudden spike in its price. I think mainly because Nintendo did not, back in 95, 96, this was not a steamed game. It kind of was like a real sleeper and sleeping giant. It was a real sleeping giant just because no one really talked about the game in the late 90s, but I think Smash Brothers and the internet community helped boost that game. But another one that's like that is Harvest Moon. Both of those said games are pretty invaluable at this point. This game was pretty expensive too. When I bought this cartridge, it cost me about 50 bones for it. But $50, if you don't know what that means, bones. Now, if it would have been up to those soldiers, we would not have even been able to get into this castle. That's one thing. Chrono, just because of the way he looks, they're very image conscious. So, you know, if you're not proper, you're not getting into the castle. This is also, if you want a better picture of this, you know, all you have to do is play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. You know, right after the Deku Tree, you know, after you take care of that, you will go to Hyrule Castle, and you'll see that they won't even let you in. But the king, we're actually able to talk to him. You know, I'd suppose that we wouldn't even be able to come at the king in that respect. But pay attention to this Chancellor. He's kind of being moody. So we are going to look around this castle. That's one thing. If you notice the dramatic music, it kind of has triumphant feel to it. It's a little bit reminiscent of Final Fantasy III, which is yet another Super Nintendo role-playing game that, you know, captivates. But so yeah, I did rest just because I want to get my MP up just in case. They ask you questions, and this is the second time that this sort of thing has happened. So we're learning about Cyrus. It's a little early in the game to really start having him be an importance, but you're going to find out about that character and what he plays a role in, because 600 AD, the thing about Chrono Trigger is they have separate storylines going along. Like if you were to, you know, probably in the days of the Nintendo Entertainment System, probably this storyline right here would be good enough for just one game. But, you know, Chrono Trigger takes 5 or 6 of these, you know, I'm trying to look, debacles, and, you know, you're just going around being the time police. You just kind of take care of these different sort of situations. So 600 AD's problem is that they have a warlord or something like that named Magus, and he is the problem here. We are not going to see Magus yet. It's another too early thing, but you know, he is definitely one of the slicker villains in the Super Nintendo era. You know, I'd say Kefka, Magus, and possibly maybe 1 or 2 other ones are, you know, some of the better villains of this time. Alright, subscribe for more fun.